So the other day, I purchased 7 motherboards on eBay, and I only paid $375. The only reason it was that cheap is because every single one of these motherboards is broken. And today, with absolutely no motherboard repair experience, I'm gonna try and fix at least one of these things. If we're lucky, we'll get one win out of this. So for the past few months, I have been racking my brain trying to come up with ways to cut costs while building gaming PCs. Not only for myself to build gaming PCs for the channel, but also for you guys to see if there's a way that we could, get you into a gaming PC for a little bit less money. And one of the ways that I decided that we were going to attempt to do that is to buy a whole bunch of broken motherboards to see if we could fix them. Now, this is all a gamble. I'm gonna be honest with you, none of this is guaranteed. If we can get one motherboard to work, that would be great. Hopefully we can get like 2 or 3, but for $375, if I can get 2 of these boards to work, I've pretty much paid for, that'll pretty much pay for the entire lot here. And if we can't fix any of them, maybe we'll have a little bit of fun here today. And you guys can watch me completely lose $375. Now, obviously, as this is the very first time that I have tried to do this, I did need to pick up a magnifying glass or a microscope of some kind. And I got this Elikliv microscope here. It's a 4K display. It should work really well. I really love the design of it, and I think it's really cool. I really like this one because it has a micro SD card and I can record it. So that's gonna be beneficial for you guys because then I can get like video footage of what I'm doing with the microscope while you guys watch me probably fail at repairing all these. Some other things that I picked up were a test bench. I've actually never had a test bench. I usually just put the PCs together on my desk and then call it a day. But since we're trying to do this officially, I figure a test bench is probably the right way to go. Plus, if you guys like this, I can try doing it again sometime, and it can't hurt to have one of these. They're not very expensive. I also picked up a Hyper 212 CPU cooler so we can just kind of set it on top of the CPU to make sure it doesn't overheat while we're trying to get the system to post. I got a Ryzen 5 7600X here because it's, a halfway decent CPU, plus every single one of these boards is an AM5 socket CPU, so this is going to fit in every single board we're trying to fix. And I picked up some DDR5 memory because, it's not gonna post without it. Now, I haven't even goofed around with this display yet. All I did was set it up. Let me see how it works. So on the plus side, we do get some interchangeable lenses. Oh, there's my hand. Oh, ew. I need to moisturize. That was this part of my knuckle. All right, so we're gonna start with our first motherboard here. It's actually the only M-ATX board that we have for the videos. It's actually a common theme with our motherboards here. I don't know if anyone's picked up on the fact that they are pretty much all Gigabyte boards. Is that saying something about Gigabyte or what? I'm just kidding, Gigabyte, if you're watching this, I really love you. Honestly, on visual inspection, this thing looks great. There's only like a little bit of thermal paste on the CPU cover. I gotta be honest, I don't see anything wrong with the pins either. Oh no, our motherboard doesn't fit. This thing is in the way. We can't see. All right, so I think I got a solution. This is gonna be really janky, but I think I have a solution. I'm gonna put these books down and this one on top of it, and we'll rotate this backwards and we'll set it on here. If I can get these apart enough, the motherboard should slide right underneath it. All right, I know it's amazingly janky, but we're gonna add a 4090, it's a little extra counterweight, and it should clear up our image here. Absolutely fantastic. Honestly, I'm not seeing any damaged pins here. This looks perfect. I can't find anything wrong with this board, so we're just gonna go ahead and put the CPU in it and pray that this was just returned and somebody was just trying to resell it for a little bit of money. All right, so first board's on the bench. Let's see what happens. How funny would it be if we get an image, first try, first board? All right, so no image. Oh, hold on, it's cycling. Is it just training? Is it just a long memory train? You gotta be kidding me, dude. There's no way the first board is functional. How much is this board worth? So this board is $150. I've already made $150 back of the $375 that I spent. That's wild. All right, so while I take this apart, I do wanna mention, it is important to know that just because the system posted doesn't mean that the motherboard may not have some other issues. We're not testing for those other issues. Today, we're just trying to get an image from our system. But I think that's pretty much as strong a start as any. Honestly, that last board has got to be just like a random return. Somebody bought it, realized they didn't want it, or didn't know how to build a PC and returned it, and we ended up with it. Well, either way, it's what a win. What a win, because I think that I paid like 30 bucks for that board. All right, so next up is this B650 Eagle AX board. This is a full ATX board, and you can definitely see some damage to these pins. Like, like quite a bit of damage actually. Other than the pins though, we do have like, it looks like some adhesive stuck to the heatsink here, but everything else seems to look good. Let's go ahead and get it underneath the magnifying glass. We might have a goner here. This one's missing all of the like push pins in the top here. It's just like a big gash of missing like the tops of all the pins. You can see right here, like that's a full pin, and then next to it, the whole top section of it is broken off on all of these. So these ones back here are fine, but oh, is that pin bent backwards? Is that what that is? Oh, is it gonna snap though? Oh no. So unfortunately, those pins were bent backwards somehow in a whole line. And because they've been bent backwards, that caused, you know, like if you take a piece of thin metal and you bend it backwards and forwards enough, it will just snap off. And that is exactly what just happened. And it is basically all of them. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one might just be a goner. I don't think that there's a way to fix that. I mean, maybe I can push, we can try to bend the next one. Let's give this one a shot. Let's see what happens. See, oh God, it just snapped off again. I'm gonna be completely honest, I could put a CPU in there and take the time to plug all this up, but with that many pins broken, there's absolutely no way that this board is fixable. I think this one is, it's a goner. All right, we're 1 for 2. Let's see what we can do on the third board. I believe this is the exact same board as the last one. Yep, this is the same board. Also, if you are somebody who's gonna be selling a motherboard, the fact that they didn't put the CPU socket cover here, or at least try in some way to protect these pins, it speaks volumes to the person who shipped it to you. Honestly, the fact that it's not covered helps me think that maybe this isn't purchased or sent to me from a tech company that's selling something that they tried to refurbish and couldn't succeed in, because that's something you do need to look out for if you plan on buying any of these motherboards. You want to make sure that you're not purchasing a motherboard from like John's tech shop. He clearly tried to fix the board already, couldn't, and is now trying to sell it to you to make some of his money back. So be careful on who you purchase from, because every board that I bought, I tried to buy from somebody that didn't seem like they sold a bunch of tech products. Now on visual inspection of this board, there may be one pin. It looks like there may be one pin that is out of place, and the rest of the board is honestly, it's looking really good, other than the fact that there is no CMOS battery, but I can put one of those in. Let's get it under the microscope and see what we got. So there is a small bend here. I'm just gonna slightly move this over. I don't wanna mess with it too much, but that's probably pretty good. I mean, that's the only defect I can see on the CPU pins, is just this one. And I'm willing to bet that that is in the right position to make contact with the CPU. I think that if we put this on the bench right now, I think that this thing would work. Let's go ahead and do that. All right, everything is plugged in. It is now the moment of truth. Let's see what happens. Did it post? So that's two boards. Oh man, are we kidding? That was all that was wrong with it? That's amazing. How much is this board? B650 Eagle can be picked up for $140. So total, it would be $290 for this board and the MATX Eagle board if you were to buy them brand new. Obviously, we'd have to sell them on the used market, but regardless, one more functional board and we've made our money back. I think we're doing pretty good. Let's go to the next board. I gotta be honest with you, I don't think I've had this much fun in a while. All right, so this is the B650 gaming board. At least this person sent it with a cover over the CPU socket. That's lovely. We got some kind of sticky adhesive here. I mean, other than that, I don't see anything else wrong with it. But let's check out the pins and see what those look like. Oh yeah, there's a big gash down here at the bottom. Honestly, it looks a lot like the last board we couldn't fix. Let's get it under the microscope. Listen, don't worry, if you guys do enjoy this type of content, I'll get another one of these, one that would fit a motherboard underneath it, because this is definitely like the most hilariously janky thing I've ever done. All right, so you can definitely see here that we are running into the exact same problem we had before. It's missing those like top pads. You can see, so this one's missing its top pad. It's just a little like piece of metal. This one right here. That's just bent. That's not a big deal. I mean, we can bend that back. I don't know if there's anything we can do to save this right here. I mean, maybe what we could do is kind of prop it up a little bit so that it can make contact with the pad on the bottom of the CPU. I mean, I think that's really the only option we have at this point. I don't think this is the right tool for it. Let me see if I can find a better tool, because I need to be able to get underneath the pin. I'm gonna go get like a bobby pin. All right, so my wife just made fun of me for calling this a bobby pin. It's a safety pin. I don't want to put too much pressure on it because then it'll snap it off even more. And I definitely don't want to make contact with the other pin and cause that one to have any issues. But we got to make sure this one is raised up a little bit more. At least enough to make contact. That's all we're looking for. Is that it? Is it just those two? No, there's these ones down here. Not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that's about as good as it's gonna get here. I mean, but it's realistically the only option that we've got. It's gotta do. So let's go ahead and get on the bench, see if it works. Now this is definitely one of those repairs where if we do get an image from here, we would still need to test everything on this board. We're not gonna do it in this video, but because those pins are they're completely jacked, even if we get the image, there could be a whole lot more wrong with this board. All right, everything is hooked up. Let's go ahead and see if our repair job worked. I'm not getting a CPU LED, we're getting a DRAM LED light right now. So all we're getting is the DRAM LED. Let's go ahead and just try it with one stick of RAM in some different slots and see what happens here. All right, so first slot does nothing. Nothing in the second slot. It's not looking good, boys and girl. And third slot's no good. And our last attempt here. All right, boys, we failed. This one is also no good. Honestly, I had very little hope that that one was gonna work due to all that pin damage, but might as well try, right? All right, up next. Board number 5. It's the exact same board we just worked on, at least same model board. And let's go ahead and take a look at this one. At least this one comes with a socket cover. And as far as pin damage, there might be 2 pins. This one looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and take a look at those pins. I do actually enjoy the fact that the larger heat sinks make it so I don't have to use the 4090 as a counterweight. All right, so this is really strange. Visually, I can see that there's like some kind of dark spot right here. But when I look at this under the microscope, there doesn't appear to be any issue. Like everything seems to be in order. I'm not sure why visually with my eyes I can see a problem, but I can't spot it with the microscope. I'm gonna bring the board over to you so you can see what I'm talking about. So on the board down here, I'm sure you can see it. It's a very small little speck. I'll see if I can get the board even closer. You can see it, but under the microscope, it looks fine. I'm not sure what that is. Since everything checks out on the microscope, we're gonna go ahead and put it on the board, on the bench, see what happens. Hopefully, this is just another one of those Amazon returns that somebody just didn't want, and we are gonna take full advantage of it. All right, let's see if board 5 has got what it takes to go into the win column. Oh, it's cycling. Oh, come on. That's 3, baby. Did we make our money back? How much is this board? This is B650 Gaming. So this board is $154. All right, so our first board was $140. The second was $150, and this one is $154. So $290 plus $154, $444 so far on all of these. We're in the green, baby, and we still have 2 boards to go. And next up, B650 Tough Gaming motherboard. So finally, we're out of gigabyte territory and we're into an Asus board. Again, shipped with nothing covering the CPU pins, always a great sign. Visually, I can't see anything wrong with the CPU pins. Everything seems to be just fine. All right, so here's something that's interesting. There's actually no push pin holding down the bottom part of the heatsink for our chipset, which is a little strange. Other than that though, the board visually looks just fine. All right, so the heatsink off, it does look as though it just has bare metal contact. I mean, like that just brushed right off. I don't know if this thing has been getting any kind of cooling. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put thermal pad on here and then we'll clean it up and then we'll reattach both sides of the heatsink and we'll see if maybe that is what'll fix it, because the pins look fantastic. Everything there is great. The rest of the board looks wonderful. I can't visually see anything wrong with it. So I think if we can, maybe there's an overheating issue. Maybe this just bare metal contact is having some kind of issue. We'll try it out. We'll put a thermal pad on it and see what happens. All right, we got a little thermal pad on there, and let's get my extra push pin and we'll see if that fixes the problem. How crazy it would be if that was the issue. It would be pretty awesome if we could get this one to work. All right, so we're not even getting power to this board. It's not even powering on. There's gotta be an issue with the motherboard power. Maybe there's a short somewhere. The 24 pin looks fine. Let's see the back. Doesn't seem to be any issues in the back. There's gotta be some kind of short issue and I can't find it. Oh wait, there does appear to be some kind of liquid. Yeah, there's some kind of liquid. Somebody's gotta let me know Is this residue from soldering, or did somebody spill something on this board? Like, is this just dirt? Like, is this just like sticky, like, is that like soda or something? I don't know. But that's wild. And it's everywhere on this side, on the left side of the socket. You can see it on pretty much everything. You see right there? Maybe somebody spilt something on here, and while it was running and the board just fried itself. I mean, that's a possibility. I don't think there's anything that I can do, or it can be done. I mean, somebody in the comment section can let me know what you think that is. I mean, I've never done any soldering work, so maybe it's possible that that's like residue from trying to solder this thing, but I doubt it because it's around the entire board. I tell you what we are gonna do is we're gonna test the last board, and then regardless of what happens with that board, we'll come back to this one. I'll take all the heat sinks off. I'll douse it down with isopropyl alcohol. We'll try to clean it up completely, and we'll see if maybe that'll do something. I don't know. I'm pretty doubtful that it will, but who knows? Maybe we can try it out. At this point, it really doesn't matter all that much because we've already made our money back, plus profit. All right, so now for our last board. This one right here is the one that I really want to work. It's a Gigabyte X670 Aorus Elite board. And I have always loved this board, and I would love to get this one to work. Now, I think I only paid $45 for this board, and I'm pretty sure it costs a lot more than that. And it would be great if we could get this one to run. But the CPU pins are really jacked up. But on the plus side, other than our CPU pins, everything else on this board looks pretty good. So hopefully, if we can get those pins right, we'll have a functional board here that I'd probably put in a personal build for me. So one of my biggest fears is coming true when it comes to this board. It seems like this has got the exact same problem as the other two boards, where maybe somebody had tried to fix it and bent the pins to the point where they snapped off, because if you look right here, this pin right here is missing its top. So it's not going to make connection. Now, it's not so far away from where the connection should be. So hopefully if I can get underneath this one, lift it up a little bit, maybe it will make connection, just like the last time. But I mean, chances are slim because the one next to it has got the exact same problem. This one's missing the pad that connects to the CPU. Now I'll bend it up a little bit and see if we can't get a connection with it. So those two are bent up, and then this one right here seems to be crooked. Did that just come off? Oh my God, it just snapped off. I barely touched it. I think we got another failure here. I don't know if this one's fixable. And this is the one that I really wanted to work too. Like this was one I wanted to be the grand finale. We'll go ahead and we'll straighten out the pins, the other pins that we see, because there's actually more areas on this board besides right here that are troublesome. There's more problems. Whoever owned this board apparently didn't like it very much. Well, we've done all we can do when it comes to these pins. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get it to turn on. All right, here we go. And we're off. So I think I'm gonna call it, I think that this board is actually toast, which really sucks because this is the one that I really wanted to fix. And then on top of that, somebody in my Discord predicted that I wasn't gonna be able to get this one to work, which I really would have loved to prove them wrong. But we still have to clean the tough board. So let's go ahead and fast forward through that process and see if that fixes it. All right, so it's as clean as it's ever gonna get. I got all that corrosion off of the board. It's flawless. The thing looks fantastic. Now, while I did disassemble everything, the VRM heatsink on the left side here, it was missing a thermal pad in a specific area. Oh, maybe the issue was a connection issue, and that was what was preventing the board from powering on. I have no idea. We're about to find out now though. Now I'm definitely a betting man, and if I was going to bet on this situation, I would say that this board's not going to turn on. It'd be pretty cool if it turned on. Now, seeing as how the board didn't even turn on, we're not even gonna plug in the monitor just yet. I just kind of wanna see if it powers on. Please, come on. No success. So this one doesn't work. I was hopeful that it would, but honestly, I really didn't think it was going to. But out of 7 boards, to even get 3 of them working, I think that's a win, especially for my first time trying to do this. Plus, we only spent $375, and all the value of the boards that we did fix were $444. Now, I'm probably gonna keep those boards and I can use them in future builds. Plus, I'd be able to test the full functionality of those boards before I throw them back out into circulation, because the last thing that I would want to do is for somebody to end up with this board and it not be fully functional. Now, I absolutely had a great time doing this because it's a complete change up from what I usually do. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love putting together systems, but this was really fun little project. Plus, I learned what to look out for in the future to maybe not make the same mistakes that I made with the 4 build boards that didn't work. Now, if you did have a little bit of fun here with me today, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It does wonders in helping my little channel reach a larger audience and become a larger YouTuber, which is exactly why anyone does this anyways. Make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this type of video so that I know if you guys want me to do more of these in the future. And as always, no matter where you are in the world, I hope that you are having the most fantastic day. And I'm gonna see you right here for the next video.